We're on the eve of a new month, and that means a wave of new PlayStation 4 games, and as always, I like to look at the games that I believe are worth buying right away, and other titles that you are probably better off waiting on a sale for. A lot of games are going to be coming out over the course of the next few months, so it's going to be very advantageous for you to be a little bit cautious with your game buying habits. Probably not going to be likely that you're going to be able to buy every game that comes out. However, thankfully, March is a little bit lighter than April and May, and then once we head into the fall, it's going to get a little bit crazy. But March has quite a few great games coming out, so without further ado, let's get right into it. And I want to kick off with the games that I believe are games you should buy right away, and we've got 3 of them to go over and 3 major releases. First up, Nioh 2, I think, is an absolute buy right out of the gate. First of all, we already know that the first Nioh was an excellent title, and Team Ninja has been very confident in being open about this game, and hell, they ran 2 different trials. They ran a beta back in early November, and now there's a last chance trial that you can play right now, and you get a sense for what to expect in the game. And what you're going to expect in the game is an awesome action-oriented title that is incredibly challenging. If you played the first Nioh, which by the way was a plus freebie back in November, you know exactly how high quality of a title you're getting here, and it's going to be worth your full $59.99, especially because it was said that this Nioh 2 is going to have around the same level of content as Nioh 1. Now, that might be a little bit of a disappointment to some people. Why aren't they adding more content or whatever the case may be? However, Nioh 1 had a sizable amount of content. If you were looking to do everything, you were spending well over 50 to 60 hours, and there was reason to play through the game multiple times, and the game is always refreshing. And for your $60, not only are you going to get a quality-filled experience, but you're absolutely going to get a content-filled experience. So Nioh 2 is one of the easier buys that I'm going to have in this entire year, I think. Next up, another buy is Doom Eternal. Coming March 20th, Doom Eternal is one of the hotly anticipated games of the year. And going back to Doom 2016, after playing Doom 2016, maybe I would have said that that game wouldn't have been a buy right out of the gate because, retrospectively, that game's strength was really based on its single-player campaign. The multiplayer was okay, but it wasn't anything to write home about. So why am I saying that Doom Eternal is a buy now? Well, that's because id Software has really went back to the drawing board on the multiplayer component of Doom Eternal. We're gonna know that the single-player component is gonna be fantastic. Doom 2016 was excellent in that regard, but a 10 to 15 hour campaign is only gonna satiate people's appetite for so long. And for some people, that might not be worth an entire $59.99. However, in the case of Doom Eternal, they're adding a lot of variety into the multiplayer component as well, with a variety of different game modes, and I imagine that there's going to be a lot of longevity to the game as well, with various updates and other things that id and Bethesda decide to put out. Doom Eternal is going to be a fantastic game. There's a reason why it was one of the most anticipated games last year when it was originally scheduled to come out in November. That delay hurt a lot of people quite a bit. However, now we're finally going to get a chance to play Doom Eternal come March 20th, and I believe that this is one of those games that, again, much like Nioh 2, one of the easier buys of the year, because going back to Doom 2016, fundamentally, that game was excellent from a gameplay standpoint, visual standpoint, performance standpoint. It was so well done. However, going into this game, my main concern was, are they going to add more variety to the multiplayer? Are they going to add a level of depth to the multiplayer that makes it a lot more engaging? And based on all of the information we've gotten so far, what we've been told so far, Doom Eternal is absolutely doing that. id Software has listened to people, listen to the gamers that played Doom 2016, and I think Doom Eternal is going to end up being a far more compelling game because of it. Alright, and the last buy, this should be an easy one for those of you guys that follow this channel. If you're a fan of Japanese RPGs, Persona 5 Royal is an absolute buy. Look, some of you guys are going to make the argument it's a $59.99 release of a game that's 3 years old, and I understand that argument if it was any other game. A lot of you guys, if you're not familiar with the Persona games, you're probably going into Persona 5 Royal thinking that this is just another re-release, just another definitive edition. How many times are they going to re-release the same game over and over again? Look, I know that some of you casual JRPG fans are familiar with what Square Enix does, and them re-releasing, I should say, a JRPG 1,042 times like they typically do. However, with Persona, they usually do one re-release per game. Persona 3 got one with Persona 3 FES, Persona 4 got one with Persona 4 Golden, and both of those, would you guess it, were absolutely worth the money. Now, those were also released at more budget-oriented price points. I believe FES actually came out at $29.99, and Golden was a Vita exclusive at $39.99. 5 Royal is at $59.99. $149, so yes, it is a steep price point. However, look at all of the content that they're adding to the game. This is an entirely new experience in some regards, where you have an entirely new semester, you have so many new characters being integrated into the core of the game, and you have so much variety being added to the game in an already content depth and variety filled experience. Persona 5 Royal is making an amazing game even better, if that was even possible. And look, Persona 5 was on that threshold, on that level where you could legitimately consider it to be the greatest JRPG of all time. If you want to make that argument, I'm not going to argue with you because it's really on that level. Now, we can have debates on exactly what is the top 3 or 5, but as far as this generation goes, at the very least, Persona 5 probably ranks as the best JRPG of this generation. And if one game can get away with releasing a refined version, and refined is really putting it lightly, this is a very much enhanced version of the game. I feel like our perceptions, for those of you guys that don't know what these Persona enhanced versions are, our perceptions are a little bit warped because we see so many other developers and publishers re-release games, remasters, whatever the case may be, and yeah, it's nice to revisit those games, especially if they were from a prior generation, but sometimes we get these re-releases in the same generation and they're priced very, very highly, and we're like, okay, was that really worth it if you already played the game years ago? In the case of Persona 5 Royal, I implore you, it's absolutely gonna be worth it. It's gonna be worth your $60. You got what, north of 100, 150 hours of gameplay out of the base Persona 5 game? Well, at a Royal, expect more like 150, 200, 250 hours out of this one if you're really looking to do everything. That's how deep of an experience it's gonna end up being. Persona 5 Royal is out at the end of March, on March 31st, and yes, the next few months of JRPG releases is gonna be absolutely packed, and that is gonna make me say, hey, wait for a sale on some of these other games, but Persona 5 Royal absolutely isn't one of those, and it's worth a buy right out of the gate. Alright, so those are the 3 games that I think are absolute buys. There are a couple of games that I think are pretty cool, however, I would recommend you guys to wait on a sale for. The first one, let's just get this one out of the way because I know a lot of you guys are excited for it, but I'm gonna say it's a wait for a sale, and that is Granblue Fantasy Versus. Look, based on the gameplay, based on the visuals, the presentation, Granblue Fantasy Versus has looked excellent. It's got an RPG component in there as well, however, it is predominantly a fighting game, and as is the case with fighting games, I am just inherently of the mindset that you should be waiting for the majority of them to go on a sale. Why is that? Well, first of all, a lot of them get definitive and complete editions released with a lot of the additional characters. It's not like in the case of Persona 5 where you get a full game in 2017 and 3 years later they're releasing Royal. In the case of fighting games, look, we already know that Versus is gonna get a season pass. We know that there's gonna be a lot of additional characters added, whatever the case may be. Hopefully Granblue Fantasy Versus goes on sale, or the deluxe edition with the season pass goes on sale rather quickly, because at that point, I think it will be worth a buy. But for any fighting game, I really feel like you should have the entire character roster right away. But in the era that we live in, you look at Dragon Ball FighterZ, you look at MK11, season passes are the new way for fighting games, and I understand why they do it. They make a ton of additional revenue off of it, but from my standpoint, from me advocating you guys to be a little bit more budget-minded and worry about your wallet, I think for a game like Granblue Fantasy Versus and a lot of other fighting games these days, the majority of them, probably 95% of them, waiting on a sale is your best bet. Wait until it gets down to $35, $40, and then you can spend that additional $20 to $25 you've saved on the season pass, because I do feel like that's a crucial part of the experience. Next up, a game I want to give a quick shout to is Overpass, a rhythm adventure from a new perspective. Drive and drift to the beat on a futuristic road trip through the music where the skyline is always in sync. Great presentation in this one. Looks like an interesting title. Came out on PC, received pretty well there. Gonna say it's a wait for a sale now, but a pretty cool little title. MLB The Show 20 is out on March 17th. Gonna say it's a wait for a sale as well. It's a sports game. I think your best bet is waiting on a sale for all of these because they regularly go on sale pretty quickly. I know a lot of you guys are super invested into it, so hey, if you're of that mindset, I'm not really gonna argue with you, but for the budget-minded gamer, I think you are better off waiting for a sale because it should go on sale fairly quickly. Love me some My Hero Academia, however, My Hero 1's Justice 2 coming March 13th is gonna have to be a wait for a sale for me. Anime games generally follow a similar trend where they are working at a different ceiling for the quality level of those games. Not to throw shade at anime games, however, in my opinion, one of the best anime franchises in the recent memory has been Naruto Storm, and even Naruto Storm has been at that 8.5 out of 10 quality level. My Hero 1's Justice 1 I thought had a lot of potential. I think they set the foundation for a franchise that could be rather compelling, but you also go back to that game, it went on sale fairly quickly. My Hero 1's Justice 2 looks like a far more robust experience, but I do think your best bet is to wait for it going down to, $24.99 to $34.99 at that point might be a much better buy. It is out March 13th. Next up, we've got Moons of Madness out March 24th. This was released on PC, and it got kind of a mixed reception. Moons of Madness is a first-person, story-driven, cosmic horror game where the scientific exploration of Mars meets the supernatural dread of Lovecraft. Very good ambiance and atmosphere in this game. I think you're better off waiting for a sale, maybe even closer towards Halloween, so you can get into that horror mood. It is out March 24th. Looks like a rather compelling game, but again, that mixed reception on PC is going to turn some people off and turn some people away right out of the gate if you don't want to spend full price on it. Paranoia Happiness is Mandatory is a game that I was very much excited for. It's coming out March 31st. It was actually released on PC in the form of an Epic Game Store exclusive. Reviews came out about it and they don't look that positive. It's a 47 on Metacritic. Presentation in the game is really cool. The gameplay style has you lead a team of 4 troubleshooters of dubious loyalty who mostly obey orders from friend computer, a paranoid and irrational artificial intelligence. It's unique in a lot of the elements, however, given its Metacritic score right now, you're definitely better off waiting for a sale on this one. Another anime game, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4 is out March 27th. I gave a lot of credit to Naruto Storm. One Piece Pirate Warriors has also been one of the really well-received anime games in recent memory. If you're a fan of Musou-style games, if you're a fan of One Piece, yeah, for you, it's going to be a buy right out of the gate. If you're a casual fan of One Piece, I do think you're better off waiting for a sale. However, you guys should be aware, One Piece Pirate Warriors, traditionally speaking, I've noticed it has held up in price quite a bit. And I imagine Pirate Warriors 4 by the ardent One Piece fans is going to be relatively well received, so I imagine that this one's going to hold up in price quite a bit as well. It's coming out right around the same time as some other major games. Persona 5 Royal comes out just a few days after it, so I would say for now, Pirate Warriors 4 is wait on a sale, but over the summertime, if it gets a little bit cheaper, I do think it could be a good pickup then. Next up, The Complex is a really interesting game coming out March 31st, same day as Persona 5 Royal, and it's a combination of a game and more so a movie. It notes, after a major bioweapon attack on London, 2 scientists find themselves in a lockdown laboratory with time and air running out. With choose-your-own-path style gameplay, your actions and your relationship with other characters will lead you to one of 8 suspenseful endings. So, pretty interesting. Usually games that are trying something a little bit different, this one being more so of a movie style of experience than a game. I'm led to say that this is one you're going to wait on a sale for, especially coming out on the day that it is, but The Complex does look like a rather interesting game. And as I mentioned, with the overflooding of JRPGs for the next few months, a JRPG collection like Langrisser I and II coming March 10th is one that I would say wait on a sale for, or rather, wait until you get some free time, because I know JRPG fans are going to be busy with Persona 5 Royal, you're going to be busy with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, so right now probably isn't the greatest time to get into Langrisser I and II. However, it is out a little bit ahead on March 10th, and Langrisser 1 and 2 were very well received back in the day, so maybe check it out ahead of Persona 5 Royal, but you're also talking about games like Nioh 2 and Doom Eternal coming out right around the same time. I think this is better off saved for the summer, where it is going to be a little bit more quiet, and a lot of the major JRPGs like a P5 Royal and Final Fantasy VII Remake, hopefully you've already made your way through those. So that's going to conclude this video. Again, I think March is a really great month for high-quality game releases. When you've got 3 marquee titles that I would say are all buys in Nioh 2, Doom Eternal, Persona 5 Royal, I think that is shaping up to be a really good month. And then you've got a lot of other games, Granblue Fantasy Versus, My Hero 1's Justice 2, even an MLB The Show 20, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, a lot of compelling titles coming in March. I know some of you guys have been a little bit more down on the month than I have, but I think next month is a really solid month of new PS4 games, especially comparatively speaking to what we've been getting in February and January. So that's going to conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.